Welcome back, everyone who's listening out there. Welcome back, Ethan. Here we are.
Thank you, Chris. Thanks for having me today. It's a beautiful day here.
It's great to have you here today.
How are you? You got us. We're fucking back, guys. Another podcast for the Grunge Bible.
All right, we're back. Episode 37. We're going to tee it up right here and knock it down. I hope everybody is having a fantastic week. Ethan, how the hell are you?
Chris, I'm doing awesome. It's Thanksgiving week. It's a holiday. And honestly, I love Christmas. That's probably my favorite holiday. But honestly, Thanksgiving might take the cake. I look forward to Thanksgiving a great deal. It has a lot of my favorite things: football, food, family, the 3 Fs. And usually, if you go to a school or you go away, it might be the first time that you're coming home in a long time, which is the case for me. It's been about 2 months that I've been back to Pennsylvania, and I am looking forward to getting on that plane in 2 days. So yeah, I'm doing great. I'm ready to rock, ready to knock this podcast out with you. How are you feeling? Week of Thanksgiving.
100%. I'm feeling pretty good. I've been really busy the last week and a half or so, and I'm at that point. So I guess first off, I understand there's a lot of listeners who live outside of the United States, so just bear with us. We're going to be talking about American Thanksgiving, or the Thanksgiving in the United States. I think for many others around the world, this is just another week, but for us, we're just a couple more strong efforts these next couple of days, and I'll get some days off of work, days to spend time with my friends and family, reconnect with people that are coming into town that I haven't seen for a little while, and just kind of slow down a little bit, around the holidays as much as you can. All told, today I'm feeling pretty good. I was a zombie last night. I fell asleep super early, but I'm still kind of tired. We've been busy for Grunge Bible, lining up interviews, interviewing people, planning for the podcast, and a whole bunch of other things that will soon reveal themselves. And overall, yeah. I don't know that I have anything to complain about. I like Thanksgiving a lot.
Yeah, I was going to say we caught Chris at the right time of the year. He's not hot today about something.
This is the one window.
So
before or after you're shut out.
Don't worry, guys. Don't worry. He's still really tired. He's just not mad about it this time.
Yeah. And who knows? We have a whole episode ahead of us for me to get mad about something. So
back to what you were saying. I want to move back because you made a good point that this is an international podcast, and I think we should go over some of the countries that. Some of the people out in the other countries that are listening, because it's pretty astounding. I love looking at those numbers every time we get a chance, that there's some people out there in Bosnia and Uruguay and Japan, Nepal. There's a whole list, and there's a bunch of countries that I'm not really sure where they are. I need to go to the map sometimes for this stuff, which is amazing.
Yeah, I feel like I need to teleport myself back in time to geography class, and it's really strange. And there's a conversation that we have all the time, with the podcast, and we were just talking about it. And why are we doing this? And do people care or whatever? But the amount of countries that people have listened to this podcast in, there's got to be, out of the 200 and some odd sovereign nations in the world, we've probably got at least 120 of them that people have listened to our show, and which is kind of astounding. So wherever you may be, we want to give you a large dose of our thanks for tuning in and listening to us talk.
That's what this episode is about, Thanksgiving. So we're thankful for all of our listeners from all the different countries. It's incredible. And I believe we have some patrons that we want to thank as well, because this would not be possible without, what do we have, about 30? A little bit over 30 across the three levels?
I think we have 31 right now as it stands. 31 people who feel so strongly about us that they want to financially support us. And that group of 31 is led by our top-level patrons. You know them well, but their names are our number one fan from Australia, Fuck Soup. That still rings true, by the way. Fuck it. Jamie Lynn, Victor Schaefer, Shannon Gorgone, Sunny Mashburn, Marianne, Jade Mercado, Laura Nyreen, Release, Alexis Shannon, Sue, and Kayla Jean. So it's an episode of Thanksgiving. First and foremost, we are thankful to them for helping us pay for this show, helping us pay for our website hosting, paying our producer, all of the equipment that we need, and making this possible.
Yeah, and there's still time to join if you want to be a part of that. If you want Chris to reel off some weird sentence because that's how you
I'll
go
say
on the
whatever you
Patreon.
want. I said fuck
Yeah.
soup. We had the real Billy Corgan for a while. I mean, I'll say whatever you want. You know,
Like,
I'll
I'm just
sell
trying to
out for
think, like,
anything.
Say something like the Patriot. You could be underneath the Patriots suck, and he would have to say that, or Tom
Yeah.
Brady's not the GOAT, or something.
I hate Eddie Vedder. I mean, whatever you want. We'll roll with it.
Yeah, no one's gonna put that.
No
though.
one's
I mean,
gonna
that would
say
just-
that.
Yeah, maybe we
Maybe
wouldn't
Buzz
even-
Osborne might if he decides to become a patron, but
Oh man, so awesome. Yeah, so I guess this podcast we're just gonna kind of bounce around, talk about stuff that we're keeping it pretty low key. We've done a lot of work this weekend and just kind of
really
wanna
this whole
relax
year
on
for
this
Grunge
one.
Bible, if you think about it. I mean, we launched the podcast. We haven't missed, and this has been, just in terms of, research and development, logistics, time, and everything. This has been a good year thus far of Grunge Bible, the year 2021. And for those who don't know, typically this week, what it would be the last full week of November, Ethan and I normally take a vacation from posting on the page. And we just kind of take some time to step back, refresh, travel a little bit, see some family and whatnot. So in the spirit of that, I don't know that we'll be getting into any nitty gritty analysis of music today, but just kind of a nice time to step back and take it easy. And I think a lot of times you don't really have to have high octane conversations all the time. You can just kind of relax a little bit.
And we got a good episode coming out next week with producer Eric Lederman, where we get pretty nerdy when it comes to music. I mean, we kind of went into a few rabbit holes and got down there, and it's a good one. It's I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to how it all comes out. I mean, we talked about some really cool topics within the music that we love. So you guys can look forward to that one.
Yes.
But today, I think what everybody wants to know, Chris, is Thanksgiving, obviously, like I said, football, American football is not the band, but American football, the sport is pretty important. So let's just go ahead and get this out. Chris, who is your favorite sports team in the NFL, and how are they doing this year? I think we should just touch on our favorite teams because
we got to talk
we talk about
that.
this a lot.
Because we the last few years, Ethan, you and I have had quite the rivalry around this, and that's because I am a diehard New England Patriots fan, and you are a diehard Kansas City Chiefs fan. So a little bit of background on the Patriots: they've been undisputed the best professional football team for the last 22 years. They've won 6 Super Bowl championships in that time frame, but recently they fell on hard times last year. Tom Brady left for Tampa Bay, but they're back. As of the recording of this show, the Patriots are in first place in their division, which hasn't happened for about a year and a half, which is a long time for me.
As well as the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah,
they are also we fell on hard times this year, but we're back at the front of our division. And I know you guys are probably saying, of course, these guys just bandwagon have been fans, but obviously Chris is from the New England area, so he is totally ratified in his beliefs. And when I was younger, I chose allegiance for the Chiefs back when they had Dante Hall and a few who Priest Holmes, Trent Green, but Dante Hall was the guy. I had a jersey when I was young because he had a bunch of kick returns and punt returns. So
yeah.
I always say that when I was young, that's all I wanted to do when I was playing Madden. That's all I wanted to do when I was playing backyard football. So I really looked up to him. So I've been there since we were bad, but the last 2 years we have been, seeing some beautiful football.
Absolutely.
And we're getting back to it.
And that's the thing, because you and me, we are posers about most things. I mean, the grunge rock genre, first and foremost. I mean, we weren't alive. And when we're posers, we're phonies, we're sellouts, you name it. We are not any of those things when it comes to our American football allegiances. I mean, this is from the womb, basically, or thereabouts, and you stick with them in the good and you stand by them in the bad.
I'm sure there's a lot of listeners that don't like sports and they don't understand it and that comes with sometimes that comes with certain I don't know. I don't want to say it, but yeah, some people just don't like sports.
I'll put it this way: to be a good sports fan is the same thing as if you're a Pearl Jam fan. You're loving Pearl Jam when they put out Verses and they put out 10, but you stick by them when they put out Backspacer. they put out the no codes of the world at the time. I mean, you gotta stick with them through thick and thin. And same thing when Eddie Vedder dyed his hair blonde for a little bit. You still still an Eddie Vedder fan. You gotta have some consistency there, you know.
And you know what I really love about sports, and I've obviously we've been a part of them for a long time. But as a fan, I do like the emotional roller coaster that it brings you. I mean, it's kind of hard to find that in other places. Just for for no good reason, we care a lot about these things, especially when it's going on, and the bragging rights that come around with it. So, I just think I just always love the emotional ups and downs that sports gives you, especially for like something that's, I don't know, I guess quite irrational that you get so worked up about.
You spend so much time emphasizing and getting high and going low with something that you have positively zero control and impact on. And I don't know. I mean, there's an element to that without getting too existential of, whatever kind of spices up your day and whatever gets you through the day. And, if it's going to be getting excited and yelling at the TV for a little bit, I mean, there are many worse things that I could have chosen.
Exactly. Like being passionate about something is important. So I don't know. I love it. I love sports. I'll be watching a lot of football when I go home with my brothers because, we get to be excited and be, and trash talk to each other. So, Chris, do you partake in any Thursday morning, Thanksgiving Day football? And do you meet up with the guys and play?
So I don't. And actually, where I grew up, the state that I grew up in, all of the high schools play football on Thanksgiving. So I grew up, going to the games, and then when I went to high school, I ended up playing in the games, and there were a handful of them that would happen Wednesday night, the night before, but most of them were Thanksgiving morning. So, I would get up, I'd have to be at the school at, 6 in the morning to, start to get ready or whatever, get taped up, do the final, meetings or whatever. Then you go play a game, and then you get home for Thanksgiving dinner. So I've never partaken in any impromptu pickup football games because at the time, I played, and then pretty much everybody just goes to the game. So my high school no longer plays. They no longer play on Thanksgiving. So I do have some free time in the morning. So maybe this is the year that I get out there and tear an ACL in the name of some good fun. What about you? Or I have a feeling you probably get out there.
I haven't in the past couple of years. There's a standing invitation and for the local, like right down actually where I went to elementary school. But I've always been afraid for other athletic endeavors. That
this was me in college. I couldn't do it because I was afraid I would get hurt.
It's simply not worth it. So maybe when I retire from athletics, I'll go back. But we do have a few people that actually that participate in these said pickup games, and my cousins, they always get up and play with their old guys, and it's pretty good. I think that some people still play tackle, some people just do two-hand touch. Depends on I think the demographic, but I don't know. I think I would get back into it. I really haven't played any pickup football in a long time, so I mean.
Yeah, I haven't played any sort of super recreational sports in a long time. Similarly, in the state that my body is in right now, I don't think it wants me to do any such thing. But it is, it is funny. I think everybody, no matter where you are, no matter which holidays you're celebrating, recognizing that, I'm certainly fortunate enough to, have a family that, is around, and that, we have mutual, respect, love, and admiration for. Like, it's just no matter what holiday it is, if you're fortunate enough to surround yourself with people that you care about. I mean, it's really the best time of the year. And it's funny, obviously neither of us are particularly old. We're in our you're late 20s now, right? 27. Maybe. That's late 20s. Yeah, I'm still in the middle. We're both closer to 30 than we are 20. And I don't know, just like the older I've gotten, the more I enjoy the holidays, but it's specifically because of being able to spend it with, the people that you care about. So that's my favorite time of the year, favorite reasoning for why I like it so much, more so than, the food and the drink or the time off of work or whatever, being able to watch football. I mean, it's all, it's like what the great Chris McCandless once said, happiness is most real when shared. And I think that's not more evident than around the holidays.
Yeah, I kind of to build off of that, without getting into the history of the actual holiday, I always kind of looked at it. I mean, you should be thankful all the time, but it is a good reminder and a good like, taking time, setting aside time to just be aware of what you're thankful for. And like you are, I'm very thankful for my family, two brothers I'm very close with. I actually have a brand new niece that I need to go meet. So I'm very excited to go back and get the first addition to the family since my sister-in-law was married in. But family, I'm always very thankful for this time. So, and family and friends, because not all people have a good family that they're close to, but I hope that everybody has somebody special that they can be, just be appreciative towards, because it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing to have in life. So I'm hoping that everybody can feel that during whether it's this holiday or another holiday, the next one that comes up for you.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And it's kind of funny thinking about it. The reasons why, in my personal life, why, things or events or relationships are important to me is because of that, that feeling of community and that feeling of belonging and just the comfort that you get from feeling that way. And I think, when I am enjoying social media, which, ebbs and flows, and when I am enjoying running this page, which also, as we know, ebbs and flows, it's for the same reasons, it's for that community and for that kind of sense of belonging and, kind of obviously echoing all of those feelings that you have, but just with the page too. And everybody who's listening, we're thankful for, you guys wanting to belong to this little thing and wanting to be a part of it because, we want you to be a part of it and we're happy that you're here.
Yeah, I think that, like we said off camera, we were kind of saying like, when we'll ever feel like it's all worth it, in quotes, like, is it all going to pay off in some way? But having people that support and that want to like make things happen is what makes it all worth it. Because I'm just like me living in Alabama and training with a group, having a coach and having a support base that is supportive of me, training is almost like more important than the actual goal and destination and finding a job that I can work under that is accepting of what, the schedule that needs to be a part of. Like, I think we're both very thankful for our jobs that we're able to do things and take time off when we need it. So, it's, yeah, like you said, it's nice to be a part of a community or a little, small groups that are very supportive. That's like, that's key for I don't know, happy life, I'd say.
Absolutely. So I have a question for you, Ethan. Do you have any, it's time to roll away the stone if you have any of these, but do you have any kind of off the wall, strange holiday traditions that you carry on in your life, around Thanksgiving or Christmas, or are you fairly standard?
I think that we're fairly standard when it comes to traditions. Like I say, like not off the wall. Like every year, we always watch A Christmas Story on Christmas Eve as a family. I think one thing that is a little off the wall is like I've always been told that Santa's not real. There's never a time
you were not raised with Kris Kringle, huh?
Oh no, my father, he's like, why would I have my kids believe that some random guy is taking care of them? Or he's like, I'd rather
it's very
them know
grunge of him to go against Santa.
He's like, I'd rather them know that they have a loving family that, you know what I mean? And like, So I've always like, he's just like, no, I'm not, so we've never believed in Santa, and he made it very clear. So like, I never was heartbroken because I never believed in it. I think that's the tip. When people believe in Santa Claus and then they don't, that's where the heartbreak comes in.
People come down at different degrees of pain. So I have a question for you.
No, my kids are.
They're not gonna know, huh?
No, I don't think so. I don't see the point,
So my next question off of that is, you came into this world, and from the second you were conscious, you were told that there was no such thing as Santa. How was it going to, first grade, second grade as a non-believer in Santa Claus, and everybody, all your classmates are probably going ape shit for Santa, and you guys are writing your lists, and then you come back after Christmas break and everyone's talking about what Santa got them. Like, how did you play that? Did you just kind of let them have their fun, and you were just like, they don't know yet?
Right. If I can remember correctly, and not trying to make myself seem like a badass, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I just let them have their fun. I just, I didn't spoil anybody's parade.
You've been such an asshole if you spoiled it for them.
Yeah, I guess dude, I couldn't help but just ruin everybody's day. It's not. I wasn't that guy. I wasn't that guy trying to steal the show and let everybody know that it's not real.
Also,
But,
I just realized we're taking a little bit of a gamble even talking about this because I'm not aware, but there may be some young listeners of the Grunge Bible podcast out there who still may believe. In which case,
man,
I'm
the gloves
sorely
are off.
sorry for that. But the time has come. If you're
you
listening
grew
to
up
this
listening-
podcast, you know,
not listening. So you grew up believing in Santa Claus and everything, cookies and milk.
Yep, yeah, we used to
at
put
midnight.
cookies and milk out for Santa, and then we used to even do the it's just another thing to get you to buy something that you don't need, but they used to sell like reindeer food. You used to like put it out in your driveway or whatever, and like we'd go outside on Christmas morning and be like, look, the reindeer food is gone. I guarantee it was just like my mom with like a dustpan or whatever picking that up and taking a bite out of the cookies, and you know.
I mean, same thing with like the tooth fairy, like. Mm-hmm. It was a transactional thing. My parents, like, I would lose a tooth and I'd give it to them and they'd give me $1. And it wasn't like I didn't put it underneath my pillow because we might lose it or something.
Exactly, you might lose it. Or what if the kid wakes up when you're making that transaction? I mean, that's a high stakes game. Yeah, so I was very normal in that regard, or not normal, because I don't want to imply that one's not normal, but very standard, very predictable, I guess, in that regard. And I think it was one of those things for me, because I definitely had some classmates, I think, who held on to the Santa thing a little too longer than was probably socially acceptable. But I think, I came of age, and I just went up to my mom once. I was like, Santa Claus is not real. And she was like, is he not? And I'm like, no, there's no way he's not. And she was like, well, do you want to know? And I said, yeah, like I want to know. I know he's not real. She's like, all right, fine, he's not. And I was like, he's not? She was like, you just said that he wasn't, but it was certainly no problem. And I think, as you get older, the meaning changes, and it's not about what you get, it's about the people that you can be with. So.
And then in that moment, you killed Santa Claus.
I was a murderer. I killed Kris Kringle. I killed him in cold
Kris
blood.
Kringle that day.
Yep.
Because until that moment, he was alive. He was out there. But then,
think Santa Claus dies. He must die millions of deaths every single year with kids aging out of the whole Santa thing.
Yeah, dude, it's a pandemic. It's like
He's
a terrible.
He's not safe.
Wow. How about you? Any traditions? Anything that is really
No,
you do something weird?
We're pretty.
You don't do any
standard.
like holiday runs, do you?
No, well, I'm not one of those. Although I would be open to it, but I certainly wouldn't be like, let me go register for this thing of my own accord. But there's one kind of strange thing that occurs Thanksgiving morning. So my family, we have this group of family friends who they've been friends for their entire lives. They're probably in their 60s now, and every single Thanksgiving morning, one person in this group has friends, family, whoever, over to his house for like a nice little get together. But it's not like a breakfast, and it's not necessarily a part. Well, I guess it is a party, but it's not a breakfast because it happens at like 9:00, and it's just kind of like you can bring like a box of donuts or whatever, but it's you drink when you go. But the one condition, the only drinks that you can have there are shots. So you walk in, and this guy whose house it is, he's standing at the door, and he will give you a shot glass, and you will just carry it around for the duration of your stay. And
This
then
is
periodically, Thursday morning, Thanksgiving morning. So we go, you take shots, which can be kind of tough at 9 a.m, 9:30, especially depending on, who decides to fill you up or what you're filling it up with.
Did the night before, yeah.
Exactly. You hit the night game followed by a morning game. That can be kind of tough. But I always thought, when I went to this when I was a little kid, and at the time, you don't understand what shots are. You don't understand why all the adults are yelling and why like this dude is like hugging everybody or whatever. And I just always thought it was strange and like
why Kris Kringle has his shirt off in the back.
Yeah, it's like super strange. So you'd walk in and like someone would yell to my mom like, "Hey, come take shots with us." And I didn't know what that meant when I was 6 or 7. So you just went and watched TV with the other kids in the living room or whatever, and you have a donut or whatever. And then as I got older and I became aware, and finally when I was able to partake, it was a very special thing because I was given my shot glass and I could toast to, whoever came in the room or whatever. If you could just walk up to them and be like, "Hey, like
to Thanksgiving."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's just about being merry with the people that you care about. So that's it wouldn't be strange if it wasn't for the fact that the only form of ingestible liquid that is available basically are are
Straight.
shots. Obviously water, whatever, you can bring whatever, but it's just like if you're drinking, it's like you drink shots there, and it's just a strange tradition. But I'm very excited to take part in it. It didn't happen last year because of the pandemic, but this year it's back on.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, that's something. I grew up in a house that we didn't. I mean, we just never had alcohol, so I didn't.
Right,
I didn't
mine
partake in
didn't really either.
Yeah, so when I heard that people really drink on like Christmas Eve or Thanksgiving Eve or Thanksgiving Day and stuff, kind of caught me off guard.
Kind of shocking.
But then I became an adult and I realized why people do stuff like that, and it made a lot more sense. So now, I mean, it's are you more likely? Yeah, are you more likely to? Yeah, I guess wake up and go for a run on Thanksgiving morning, or wake up and get a glass of water and cure your headache from the night before? Because I really enjoy seeing all my friends on the Thanksgiving Eve. That's become like, yeah, that's just good fun. That's good
the
coming back.
stereotypical, like that's the one night a year.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's because of what I mentioned earlier, just like everybody being away for school, everybody kind of moving away. It's the first time kind of being back. And we're both from, I think, smaller towns around big cities. So it feels like everybody from the small town is back at the local Irish pub. And we're, I don't know. I look forward to that too.
I totally agree. And especially, I mean, that night there was not a night in my life, with my friends that was better than that when I was in college, because we would all get back. We'd all fly in that afternoon, and then we'd all get together and, share stories or catch up on what was going on and everything. And I don't know, generally speaking, I try to get up and at 'em on Thanksgiving morning, whether to start off on a good foot or atone for what I did the evening before. But it's just that's the other thing too, is like as you get older, it becomes less about like what you're doing and more about who you're doing it with. So I mean, I've done, I've gone out with my friends to the local Irish pub where every other 20 something in the state of Rhode Island is as well, and doing that whole thing, and you can't hear anybody, just as I've gone to like a quieter place and just kind of hung out and caught up with some people. But it's one of those things, if you're with good people, no matter what you're doing, you're going to have a good time. And that's my favorite thing about the Wednesday night, the Thursday morning, the dinner itself, and everything that's to follow.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Are you gonna be doing any mad shopping Thursday night into Friday morning?
Black Friday. You know what?
There we go.
I'm
Found
mad.
it, guys.
I'm upset.
All right, Chris,
entire concept of Black Friday.
You have the floor, Chris. Give us your best. Let's rail on Black Friday.
I just don't understand it. You're not going to get that much of a deal. It's all psychology. It's all marketing. They're all just trying to get you to have this sense of urgency that doesn't really exist. And they do an incredible job at it because they're paying a lot of people to create it. I just don't think it's a big. You will never catch me out at midnight on Friday morning on Black Friday standing in a fucking line to get $15 off a television or something. It's not worth it. I'll stay at home. Especially now with the internet, you have no excuse. You don't need to go out. Especially all these fucking crazy people that'll fight you over like because that's what they do. They're like, hey, here's this TV for cheap, but they don't tell you they only have 7 of them in the store. So, next thing you know, you get number 8 and number 7, reaching for it at the same time. You get like a Frank Costanza type situation where, they come to blows over it. And that's just, it's not what I'm about. It's not what I believe in. And I'm going to say, I judge people who make like a big event of it. If you're just going out to like fuck around and like, be like, holy shit, look at all these people. They're nuts. That's fine. And you can do that. But, if you're going out like, I need to get stuff today because it's not that much cheaper and it's not worth the aggravation.
100%. And it keeps getting earlier and earlier. Now you go Thursday night. The deals start Thursday night.
It's terrible.
And you're right. They just have limited supply. So the people, they don't actually lose money.
You don't get anything anyways.
You
go to try to get a TV and you end up getting a waffle maker, even though you don't need one, but you feel like you got to buy something.
You know what really grinds my gears, Chris?
What's that? Let's hear it.
I've actually never been a part of a corporation or something to do this, but if I were to work for somebody and they say Black Friday is mandatory to work, that I'd have to be there, I'd be like, Hell no. Like, one, if I'm taking off, I'm taking off. I
Be
don't like
this
that. When
job
people
is
are like,
not for me.
when people are like, I need to work, there's no way. Like, I'm like, but you're in the accounting department. They're like, all hands on deck. Everybody needs to be there.
It's like, it doesn't matter if my hands are on the deck.
That.
I have nothing to do with this crush of people.
Yeah, I'm like, screw that. I'm with you. I think that it's totally overblown and a big. It's almost as bad as Valentine's Day as a holiday.
Oh my God! It's all just creations to get you to spend more money. And another thing too, like, this is where I think I differ from our parents' generation and certainly their parents' generation. I don't really. I try to be very responsible with my money. I don't spend on like stupid shit or anything. But like when it comes to certain commodities, or if it's something that I need, like if I have to fill up my gas tank, like I'll go to the gas station that I go to. The price is what the price is. So if I need a television, if it's $229 or $189, the price is what the price is. Like if I need it at the time, I don't value saving, an hour's worth of wages, over spending a couple of hours in a line or something, or just the aggravation to chase around. It's like those people that'll drive all over town to get gas that's 2 cents cheaper, and they blow like 6 gallons doing it. But don't worry, because they stuck it to the man. Like I don't believe in that. I think it's stupid, and that's what they want you to do. They want you to do it, and I'm just not here for it. I won't stand for it.
So anyway, yeah, we're going to have a Black Friday sale for our merchandise, 20%. No, I'm just kidding.
If anything, we're going to raise the price. Shame on you for coming to our website on that day.
We got a limited offer. Yeah, use promo code Grunge Bible for an additional attack on of 20% or a Black Friday sale.
Limited edition fuck Grunge Bible shirts. There's only 6 of them available.
Can we make one of those, Chris?
I think we can, yeah.
I think that we should just say, fuck Grunge Bible, or this is not grunge, or I don't know, something like that.
Fuck Chris and Ethan. Fuck them.
That would sell.
You think it would?
Yeah, it's ironic.
Why not? Everybody loves irony.
Oh, man. That's good. I feel better now that we talked about Black Friday.
I don't feel better. I feel worse. I wasn't thinking about it, and then now you've got me...
Yeah.
Got me thinking about it, and now it's going to be here. You got to deal with all the ads on television and on Twitter and whatnot.
My phone probably just heard me, so now I'm going to get TV offers.
Yeah, we're going to get email blasts. I fucking
ads
hate that.
are going to pop up.
It's terrible.
Oh, man.
We need to talk about something a little better as we wrap up, and I think,
I got
obviously there are a lot of Christmas songs, but Thanksgiving, Are there any songs for you that go hand in hand? There's 2 on the top of my head that I can think of that are Thanksgiving songs for me. I'll let you lead it off, because I think there's one one that's close to you, and there's close to many.
Of course, and I think that we're both on the same page for this one. It's actually been we send it to each other each Thanksgiving, and I'm not even exactly sure. You probably have more of the history behind it than I do, but Alice's Restaurant Massacre by Arlo Guthrie is, for whatever reason, I guess it's about a Thanksgiving scene, correct? I mean,
so the song's like 26 minutes long.
Yeah.
It's about everything, but I think it's like the events that they're talking about happen like on Thanksgiving night or something. But it's been associated with Thanksgiving, since the dawn of time, or since it was written.
And I remember probably 5 years ago or something, like my dad would bring it up because he loves music and loves the names and titles, and and he loves doing weird stuff, like making his own playlist that's 3 days long. But he was like, send this to Chris, and I was like, why? And I was like, and he was like, for some reason he was like, he's like, just send it to Chris. I bet you he knows it, or something like that. And I sent it to you, and you were like, HH brother, you're
and
like,
I fucking knew it.
Yeah, you're like, I love it, dude. I love this song, or and then it became an inside joke. So, I mean, there's no real. It just became one of those beautiful, weird inside jokes for Thanksgiving between the 3 of us.
Yeah,
but like you said, it is connected to Thanksgiving historically, I guess. So
yeah, it's funny because I don't know any other Arlo Guthrie songs. But I do know it's really funny. I don't know if anybody else knows any Arlo Guthrie songs because this is seemingly his most requested song to play live. I think he's retired from performing live, but as the years went on after he wrote it, he would talk about the fact that before every Thanksgiving or before every concert where he was going to play it, he had to relearn the lyrics and study the lyrics because there's just so many of them. And it's like I said, it's like 20 minutes long. So you're not going to remember that. So he would have to relearn the entirety of the song. And I'm sure that's got to be a difficult thing to remember. But yeah, that's definitely one that sticks out for me, is something that's important to us, a band that has been important to us, and that is the band The Last Waltz, which took place on Thanksgiving night 1976. But out of the entirety of the concert, my favorite one, the one that I always try to listen to on Thanksgiving night, is the finale. It's everybody who was there. I mean, they had Bob Dylan, they had Neil Young, Joni Mitchell, Van Morrison, Ringo Starr was there, Dr. John, they had Muddy Waters. They were all there. They all got on stage to sing I Shall Be Released, which is a really, really fantastic song. It's one of our favorites. But my favorite thing about that performance is Neil Young made it to the show. So Neil Young, I think the night before had just finished like a 4-show run on the East Coast. I think he played like Boston, New York, and maybe one of those places twice. And he found out that the band's final show was going on. And being a Canadian himself, he decided that he needed to be there to support his friends. So he flew across country, totally sleep deprived. So as the legend goes, before he gets ready to go on stage, he needed a little support to make it through the show. I think he performed Helpless, and I think he just, accompanied various musicians for other songs. But he decided that he needed some cocaine. So he did at least a little bit of cocaine, but I'm assuming it was probably more than a little bit, because what happened was he goes out on the stage, and this is very well documented, by the way. He goes out on the stage and he still has like a rock of cocaine, like very visible in his nostril. Like it didn't make it all the way up. Like it's just hanging there. It's very visible. So when they made it into a movie, Martin Scorsese made the movie, they had to digitally edit and digitally cover this like cocaine rock that was just dangling from Neil Young's nose the entire time. And it doesn't make any difference, because if you look at the man, I mean, he is, the concert took place in San Francisco, and he's not in San Francisco for this thing. And during the version, during the performance of I Shall Be Released at the end, he's standing there, I think, between Bob Dylan and Joni Mitchell, and Neil is just standing there staring at Bob with this infatuated smile on his face, and Joni Mitchell's next to him, and like everyone's just kind of like laughing because Neil was the lights were on but nobody was home at the time. But I think that's a great story, obviously. I'm really glad that you brought that song up. That is important. And that is, oh man, that's always a good one to hear back. Yeah, it's a great story, but the performance is even better. I mean, that was such an incredible band, and Richard Manuel took, I think, the second verse, and by that time his voice had suffered considerably, so he wasn't able to hit the falsetto like he normally could. But man, they were a talented group of musicians, and just the brain trust of musicians that were on the stage that night, as I mentioned, was just, it's not often that people like that all get together and perform together. So I mean, that you can probably count on maybe one or two hands the amount of times something like that's happened. So that's super cool. And that happened on Thanksgiving night back in '76. So I always pay my respects and give it a listen on Thanksgiving. Well, I think there's one more thing that we need to, that I almost forgot, but we cannot leave out this song. And more so this performance, because it as well happened. We actually have the 20-year anniversary today. On the day that we're recording this. On the day that we're recording this, and you just posted about this, but you said Creed took the stage of the 2001 Cowboys Thanksgiving Day game for an unforgettable performance. It's absolutely legendary. And I love what you wrote. You said, and what many music historians have referred to as the pinnacle of the grunge rock era, Creed tears into a 3-song medley of Higher, My Sacrifice, and Don't Stop Dancing, leaving the attendees speechless and marking as inferior any live performance that preceded it. And Chris, we've talked about this. I think this is the third time we've talked about this on the pod. At least I know we've done it once, maybe 3 times. But
It's just an iconic. I mean, I'm just want to be. I really want to teleport back and be in those stands, really, so I can see the guy, fly through the air with with no support, just
whatever sort of acrobatic routine that was. I need to learn about why it was able to happen. But it's so funny because looking back, how ridiculous that video looks. I guarantee you, everybody watching it didn't think it was that ridiculous because one, that was popular music at the time.
Right,
Number
right.
two, those types of displays
Acrobatics
were very I think that was something that that they just used to do then as a part of a show. And it's so funny because it really wasn't that long ago. And you think about, that was halftime performance now and like this past year. And the Cowboys Thanksgiving Day game is a huge game. And they had Scott Stapp and Creed out there laying it down, and now I mean, we get The Weeknd, or we get Maroon 5, or we get any of these other bands, which I mean they're all fine in their own right, but it's just funny how quickly things change in not a whole lot of time. But yeah, that one is one for the ages, and I'm obliged to say this, that during the performance, as I've said before when we talked about this on the show last, Mr. Stapp is wearing a number 11 Dallas Cowboys jersey with his name on it. And the reason apparently that he wore the number 11 jersey is because he had 2 number 1 hits to his name. So I guess 1 + 1 = 11.
Absolutely amazing, lore behind the story. I commend Scott Stapp for thinking of that and doing that. It's
Absolutely.
incredible.
So maybe it's in order. Maybe I'll fire out a Grunge Bible Thanksgiving Day playlist, and it'll have we'll lead off with Alice's Restaurant. We'll hit that Hire My Sacrifice, and then Don't Stop Dancing, and then we'll cool down with a nice slow burn of I Shall Be Released. I mean, there's really nothing else you need more than that.
I think I'm going to put all 3 of those on the songs of the week too. We might as well fuck
it. We can do what we
and
want.
I like
it doesn't
that.
have to just be 2.
I love the 5-song playlist. Put that out. That's really good. One time Dave Grohl put out a playlist, and there was 12 songs on it. I don't know how incredibly, how much time he put into picking them, but people were like, "Oh, Dave Grohl picked these songs," and it was 10. It was kind of nice. It was just a playlist, and
he's a tastemaker.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And in a way, I guess that's what we are. But yeah, so I think so do we have 5 songs of the week this week?
Absolutely do. We do.
We have
already
5 songs
Alice's.
of the week. So look at that, everybody. We finished the songs of the week segment before we even really noticed that we started it. So I don't really know if there's anywhere else.
Yeah, you were going to use Alice's Restaurant, correct?
I totally was. And if you had chosen it before me, I had I Shall Be Released on deck.
Perfect.
So and we all need a healthy helping of Creed.
Song. Yeah,
it is.
Yeah. I was say I don't know if we have any Creed songs on the playlist yet, so this is good.
Well, that's about to change this week, so we're really happy about that. Wherever you may be in the world, whether you're celebrating a holiday this week or not, we hope that your week is going fantastically well, and we really appreciate, if you're still with us, your attention and your presence here as a listener of this show and as a contributor by that presence. As the show's gone on, this is our 37th episode, as you can tell by now if you're here. The subject matter bounces around quite a bit, and in some weeks we get really into the music and the grunge that, relates to why we started this whole thing. But other times, it's just really nice just to kind of chat and not really take things too seriously. Not that we ever really do, but just kind of chat, relax a little bit, and just, share some good discussion about different things. And, 1, it's a nice combo breaker. And number 2, maybe it could be a good reminder that, not everything has to be so serious all the time, and whatever you're dealing with in your life. And sometimes it's just, it does more good than harm just to throw it back, throw on some Creed, and just, shoot the shit with your friends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. Last thing, like you said, if you take some time to be thankful this week, if you're watching football or if you're listening to this podcast, and Chris and I thank you again. Chris, I'm very thankful for you. I'm thankful for our friendship. And
absolutely.
Obviously, to be able to do this with you is great. But beyond the podcast and beyond the page, I'm happy that you are a friend. So
Yeah, me
That's all I
too.
got. And shout out to Drew. I'm also happy that you are our friend as well. And I'll see you over Christmas holiday, not Thanksgiving.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, same thing, to both of you. I think it's weird, you meet people and, you think you get down the road with your relationship or your friendship with them, and then you realize how different your life would be if you didn't know that person. And that can be said for my friendship with you, and I'm very,
Do you
very
think that,
appreciative of you.
Where do you think our friendship would be if we never made this page?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Do you think that, I mean, we kept really close with our sports. We have a few other friends that I don't know if it just, yeah, do you think that we still would have, even though?
I still think we would have because we were really close. But I will say, and this appears to me as something that's difficult to do, but I think we have done a fantastic job about having Grunge Bible and having our friendship and not really having one negatively impact the other, because there's been times where Grunge Bible has sucked and we haven't been enjoying it so much. But at the end of the day, when Grunge Bible passes away, our friendship will still remain. So,
but not the other way around. If one of us goes down, it's done. It's done.
It's got to be done. It's got to be done. Yeah, if we kick the bucket, Ethan, I'm not doing another thing. If you go down, I'm not doing it. And if I go down, I don't want you touching Grunge Bible ever again.
Sell it.
Sell it, man. Sell out.
Sell out and buy a vase or buy a Folgers coffee container for the other person. Just like
dump
Big
me in the
Lebowski.
bosom of the Pacific Ocean, as what you think my dying wishes may well have been.
Oh, I'm glad we incorporated that little Big Lebowski.
You always have to drop a Lebowski reference. I think a couple of weeks in a row.
That podcast is coming. That podcast is coming. The Big
It
Lebowski
is on its
one.
way. It's percolating.
All right, Chris. I think it's time that we close down.
Yeah, I think it's time we take her easy for all us sinners out there.
And we shall be released. We're going away. Not sure if you'll see us on the page until this thing drops on Black Friday.
Black Friday, everybody. Here we go.
So if you're out there listening to this on the way to getting your TV, I wish you the best.
Turn the show off, unsubscribe, and don't ever deal with us again.
Yeah, and if you have similar thoughts to the Black Friday, then you must subscribe to our podcast. All right.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. Rock and roll.
Be well, everyone. Take care.